Good evening. I went ahead and started recording tonight because tomorrow I have a full day, a really full day. And I know what was going to happen. If I didn't record this evening, I would get through the whole day tomorrow and it would be bad. And so then there would be no time for us. And I wanted to make sure that I had our time in the Word as we're continuing in the book of Numbers. And I didn't want you waiting all day or wondering if I ever was going to get on. So I decided to go ahead and do a video to upload today. So we will begin in Numbers 30:31. And before we do, we'll ask the Lord to open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy law. And we will continue in Numbers. And you're going to see some of those old characters rear their head up again, and we'll talk about that after. So let's begin in Numbers chapter 30. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall not do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her. And if she had an husband, when she vowed or uttereth aught of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day, and he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their soul, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband hath utterly made them void on that day, he heard them, and then whatsoever proceedeth out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand. Her husband hath made them void, and the Lord shall forgive her. Every vow of every binding oath to afflict her, her husband may establish her, of her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from the day to day, then he establish all her vows of her bonds which are upon her. He confirmeth them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. But if he shall any make them void after that he hath heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house. So what we see is what you say really matters. Vows and oaths or verbal obligations and are very important in God's viewpoint. Such words are in fact equivalent of a legal contract, and it speaks of Jesus addresses the issue of legal loopholes to avoid one's vows, but God expects his people to keep their word even as he keeps his. So it's very important, if you say something, to do it. So now we are continuing in chapter 31. We're at the final days of Moses' administration, and they're just as projective as the first. And Israel's commander-in-chief, he leads a highly successful campaign against the Midianites. As administrator, he handles wisely the tribe of Reuben and Gad, and allows them to settle in the East Jordan River, and many more things. So let's continue in Numbers 31. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterward shalt thou be gathered unto thy people. And Moses spake unto the people, saying, Arm some of yourselves unto the war, and let them go against the Midianites, and avenge the Lord of Midian. Of every tribe 1,000, throughout all the tribes of Israel shall you send to the war. So there were delivered out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest, to the war, with the holy instruments and the trumpets to blow in his hand. And they warred against the Midianites as the Lord commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. Israel's conquest of Midian, this is just some insight here, included the execution of Balaam. This judgment may seem unduly harsh for the one who had blessed the nation until it's learned that Balaam masterminded a scheme to defile the Israelites with Midianite women. And we'll read that in just a second here. Verse 8, and they slew the kings of Midian beside the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi and Rechem and Zur, Hur and Reba, 5 kings of Midian. Balaam also the son of Beor they slew with the sword. And the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives, and their little ones, and took the spoil of their cattle, and all their flocks, and all their goods. And they burnt all their cities wherein they dwell, and all their goodly castles with fire. And they took all the spoil and all the prey, both men and beasts. And they brought the captive and the prey and the spoil unto Moses and Eleazar the priest, and unto the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the camp at the plains of Moab, which are by Jordan near Jericho. And Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them without the camp. And Moses was wroth with the officers of the host, with the captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, which came from the battle. And Moses said unto them, have you saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel, through the counsel of Balaam, to commit trespass against the Lord in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known a man by lying with him. But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. And do ye abide without the camp 7 days. Whosoever hath killed any person, and whosoever hath touched any slain, purify both yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day, and purify all your raiment, and all that is made of skins, and all that works of goat's hair, and all things made of wood. And Eleazar the priest said unto the men of war which went to battle, this is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses. Only the gold and the silver, the brass, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that may abide the fire, ye shall make it go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with the water of separation, and all that abideth not the fire, ye shall go through the water. And ye shall wash your clothes on the 7th day, and ye shall be clean, and afterward ye shall come into the camp. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the sum of the prey that was taken, both men and beasts, thou and Eleazar the priest, and the chief fathers of the congregation, and divide the prey in 2 parts between them that took the war upon them, who went out to battle, and between all the congregation. And levy a tribute unto the Lord of the men of war which went out to battle, 1 soul of 500, both of the persons and of the beeves, of the asses, of the sheep. Take it of their half, and give it unto Eleazar the priest for a heave offering of the Lord. And of the children of the Israel's half, thou shalt take 1 portion of 50 of the persons, of the beasts, of the asses, of the flocks, of all the manner of beasts, and give unto them Levites, which keep the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses, and the booty being the rest of the prey, which the men of war had caught, was 600,000 and 70,000 and 5,000 sheep, and 60 and 12,000 beeves, 60 and 1,000 asses, and 30 and 2,000 persons, and all of women that had not no man by lying with him. And the half which was portion of them that went out to war was in number 300,000 and 7 and 30,500 sheep. And the Lord's tribute of the sheep was 615, and the beeves were 30 and 6,000. Of the Lord's tribute was 312, and the asses were 30,500, of which the Lord's tribute was 301, and the persons were 16,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. And Moses gave the tribute, which was the Lord's heave offering, unto Eleazar the priest. And the Lord commanded Moses and the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided from the men that warred. Not the half that pertained unto the congregation was 300,000, and 30,000, and 7,500 sheep, and 30 and 6,000 beeves, and 30,000 asses, and 516,000 persons. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took 1 portion of 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them unto the Levites, which kept the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord. And the Lord commanded Moses and the officers which were of the thousands of the hosts, the captains of the thousands, the captains of the hundreds, came near unto Moses, and they said unto Moses, Thy servants have taken the sum of the men of war which are under our charge, and there lacketh not one man of us. We have therefore brought an oblation for the Lord, what every man hath gotten of jewels of gold, chains and bracelets, rings, earrings, and tablets, to make an atonement for our souls before the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of them, even all wrought jewels, and all of the golden offerings, and they offered up to the Lord of the captains of the thousands and the captains of the hundreds was 16,750 shekels, for the men of war had taken spoil, every man for himself. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of the captains of the thousands and hundreds are brought into the tabernacle of the congregation for a memorial for the children of Israel before the Lord. So if a man vowed a vow unto the Lord, what could he not do? Well, he could not break his word. And in the day that if he heard the vow of his wife, the husband was either allowed to take that, receive it, and receive her, or totally act like he didn't hear it and let her be freed from her vow, basically. So, and it would be kind of like disregarding her at all, which would be horrible, but I'm sure that that happened at times. So the children of Israel were to avenge themselves against whom? That was the Midianites, because remember, earlier on, they had a battle with the Midianites, and that didn't go so well because of them getting with their women and their gods, little g gods, right? And so that because of their sin, God had to take care of them then. And so now God brought them back around to avenge. And then why did they kill Balaam? Well, because he was part of the defilement back then and still carrying on. And so they had to take him out as well. So I wanted to share this little devotion with you. You're doing some work when suddenly your hand slips and you get a finger full of splinters. After half an hour surgery, you think you pulled them all out, only to discover later that you missed a few. And at that point, the fact that you removed most of the splinters doesn't help much. And the few remaining ones it is a few remaining ones that really matter. I had a splinter in my finger the other day, and it went all the way down my whole finger, and I thought, maybe I just cut it. Man, and it bothered me forever until it finally came to the surface. But man, I hate splinters. So, but it is that few remaining ones that really matter and just irritate. God clearly directed Israel to completely rid the land of its pagan inhabitants when the time came for conquest, and he warned that any Canaanite left behind would become like painful splinters and thorns to the Israelites. Disobeying God, Israel failed to rid the land of its pagan populace and eventually corrupted by immorality and idolatry. They didn't do it, and then there was more problems later, right? So are there any splinters, so to say, in your life, in your spiritual life, secret sins, nagging habits, little things that you know or displease God? You can carry a pair of tweezers with you today as a reminder that what you fail to remove now will only fester and cause more pain in the future. A little sin will add to your trouble, subtract from your energy, and multiply your difficulties. So we don't want to allow not even a little sin. Keep short accounts with the Lord. Keep it right with him. We're going to read Proverbs chapter 5. Proverbs chapter 5. My son, attend unto thy wisdom, and bow thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold on hell. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house, lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel, lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger, and thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed. And say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Drink waters out of thy own cistern, and run waters out of thine own well. Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and the rivers of water in the street. Let them be only thine, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountains be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind in a pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and thou ravished always with her love. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? For the ways of a man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. His own iniquity shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. And anyone can. So it's important to follow the instruction of the Lord. Psalm 98 is where we're at in Psalms today. Psalm 98. O sing unto the Lord a new song, for he hath done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm hath gotten him the victory. The Lord hath made known his salvation. His righteousness hath he openly showed in the sight of the heathen. He hath remembered his mercy and his truth toward the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. Here we go again. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all the earth. Make a loud noise and rejoice and sing praise. Sing unto the Lord with the harp and the voice of a psalm, with the trumpets and the sound of a cornet. Make a joyful noise before the Lord the King. Let the sea roar in the fullness thereof, and the world and they that dwell therein. Let the floods clap their hands. Let the hills be joyful together before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth. With righteousness shall he judge the world, and the people with equity. So, sing unto the Lord, rejoice unto the Lord. We can clap unto the Lord. All these ways we can praise our Lord. Have a blessed rest of your day today, and I look forward to seeing you soon.